Greetings, friends, and welcome to Ho Ho How to Wrestling Christmas. I'm bad, Santa. I can do that. Like, cancel Christmas up in this. The world's first podcast detailing how to wrestling, how to get into wrestling, how to understand wrestling, and goodness knows, maybe even how to enjoy wrestling at the most wonderful time of the year. Hello, everyone. I'm Cowboy Christmas Kevin Mahan, joined by my better half, Joanna Graham. Hello.
Oh, come on, I don't get a Christmas name.
Tinsel Joe.
Tinsel Joe, okay.
Tinsel Joe sounds like a real dodgy.
Joe Bells.
Where did you get that? Those really dodgy decorations. Tinsel Joe came around in the van last week. 10 for a quid. I couldn't say no, but they probably were stolen. So.
We did keep the kids inside when he dropped them off.
Christmas wrestling. These are two things that don't necessarily go together, obviously, do you think?
And yet there is a Christmas DVD.
Yeah, there is. The WWE Christmas Collection, which we got from the internet for a grand total of £1.
Is that really how much we spent?
That's how much we spent.
Splashing out this year.
Yeah, big budget this year for the Christmas special. Wrestling at Christmas. I mean, before we sat down, we watched some Choice Wrestling cuts, thanks to, some videos and some recommendations from the How To universe. I mean, are there any wrestling Christmas memories you had before this moment? Did you even think the two ever crossed paths?
I was aware of the Christmas creature.
Oh, from Kane, of course.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean, Mick Foley, obviously, is a huge Christmas fan.
Oh, how do you know about that? I mean, was it from the book?
It's hard not to know about that. No, I mean, it's the book. It's every appearance that he ever does on anything. He's always talking about Christmas. There are all the adverts as well for this DVD, which I remember they came out and he was just like awkwardly hanging out with Noelle and they were talking about Christmas. And...
I mean, it's a bit of a giveaway there. His daughter's name, Noelle.
Yeah.
I mean, she really wanted to call her Santa, but obviously his horrible wife, put an end to that. Like,
bitch.
For me, wrestling at Christmas has always been a weird one because, generally speaking, when it comes to Christmas time, WWE just kind of go, you're not watching anyway. You don't care. So, no real important storylines happen around this time. It's always kind of ramshackle, rush together, let's get, let's dress everyone up in Santa outfits, and it's nothing to enjoy.
I haven't seen many Santa or Christmas segments since I've been watching.
They've not done many the last 2 years. So
I was wondering if I just missed them.
They went like real Christmas mad, like a few, like from 2012, and we'll get into that. They went full on Christmasburg.
Right.
But I mean, for me, my earliest memory for Christmas in wrestling was a really bad one. It was a really awful Christmas memory.
Yeah.
Which was Christmas in 1999. And I stayed up to watch Raw, and it was like 10 till 12. I was like, I'll watch Raw, and then I'll go to bed. And Raw that night had Mankind, who I knew loved Christmas because I had read his book. And I knew that Mick Foley loved Christmas and it's really special for him. He had a special match when he wrestled in a boiler room against a bunch of evil Santas. And then he got the shit knocked out of him.
I think I've seen that, or I've heard about it.
It's like Triple H and all of
yes!
DX.
Triple H dresses up as Santa.
Yeah, and they beat the shit out of Mick Foley.
Yeah.
And then it's like he literally gets the dog fuck knocked out of him. And I remember being like really sad going to bed on Christmas. And I was like, Mick Foley loves Christmas. And he got beaten up by the thing that he loved. I was like, if I got beaten up by Mick Foley on Christmas, it's the worst. And I remember being really sour on it. So, I mean, it was really nice to actually watch some of this Christmas stuff because we're Christmassy as fuck here at the moment. We're actually recording this back home in Ireland.
Yeah.
Well, back in my home of Ireland, I should say.
It's becoming my Christmas home, though.
I mean, we are, balancing the microphone precariously on tins of celebrations, I'm wearing a Christmas jumper.
I'm wearing Christmas pajamas.
So it could be that there's just a little bit of Christmas magic in the air, but we've after watching a whole shed load of Christmas wrestling, and it was fucking awesome.
It was good.
And you should watch some Christmas wrestling this year too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got a lot of people sending in various things they wanted us to see, and the first and most important thing, to really nail down the association with wrestling and Christmas, I showed Joe Santa Claus. Zanty, as we call him here in Ireland. Now, Santa Claus from the North Pole, isn't he?
Yeah.
And what does he do with gifts?
He gives them to children.
Gives them to children, isn't he? Now, Santa Claus, you've got to reverse it, okay? Just like the So Solid crew would do. Mm-hmm. He's from the South Pole, okay?
Which is why he wears black and red.
And He doesn't give gifts.
He taketh them away.
He taketh them away from children.
Yeah.
So this is obviously a bit of a crook, because what they did was to introduce Santa Claus. It was meant to be a long-term character.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I just thought they thought that the heat was so hot, brother, that they could
They
go.
really think that's going to last into February.
That's
April,
it. Heals with
May.
heat, like, you know.
Jesus.
So how they originally brought him out was that Santa was meant to be giving out gifts to these kids,
Yeah.
and this Santa was being like a bit of a dick. And it was revealed that actually it was not Santa, it was Xanta. And Vince McMahon on commentary was like, "Wait a minute, that's not Santa. That's an imposter." The evil $1 million man had paid off this evil crook from the South Pole to ruin Christmas for everyone. So what we got to see was Santa Claus's first and last match, taking on a young Scott Taylor in 1995.
Santa Claus looks, I think, like Mick Foley's evil twin. Like, if Mick Foley loves Christmas, this is his evil twin that hates Christmas.
I like that he has his kind of pound shop knockoff Ann Summers naughty Santa outfit.
I liked his creepy black leather gloves, like a serial killer.
I'm just saying, turn that red fuzzy bit into leopard print and that pretty much, you know, that thing would sell big. Santa Claus is really funny as well because he is an actual wrestler.
Okay.
He's a wrestler by the name of Balls Mahoney from ECW, who was quite a mainstay in Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Right.
But this was his own little dalliance into the mainstream. The only thing that makes this gimmick real is that apparently in real life, Balls Mahoney was fucking gross. Chris Jericho shared a room with him for a period of time, and there were cockroaches living in his mattress.
No!
So, smelly, bad Santa man.
Oh, that's disgusting.
What were you like... When you saw Santa, were you like typical wrestling, or were you genuinely like shocked to see that they would go like full on, yep, there is this evil version of Santa and he's a wrestler?
No, I wasn't that surprised, honestly. At this point, it takes a lot to shock me, I think, and having an evil Santa just sort of seems logical in the wrestling world.
What were your thoughts on Santa Claus?
There's a great heel. What a no good Santa.
Jim Ross, who is the...
On fire on commentary.
On commentary, he has to try and give legitimacy to this man who's looking at the camera going, "Ho, ho, ho, you stupid kids." And he goes, "Well, he obviously doesn't like children, and he's quite big as well. So that's what he's got going for him, you know?" What kind of strategy do you have to go for against Santa Claus, knowing that he's quite big and he doesn't like children? I just bring a load of kids with me, like throw him in the ring and he'd be like all distracted. Quick roll up, 1, 2, 3.
I don't think he's scared of them.
What did you think of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase? I think was this the first time you saw him?
I've seen him in like segments here and there, like recaps from old footage, but I'm like, I don't even know if he's a wrestler. Is he a wrestler?
He was a wrestler.
He was a wrestler. How does he wrestle in that suit?
He doesn't wrestle in his suit. No, this is after he was an active wrestler. This is when he was busy being evil. His little insert promo is like, "I'm going to ruin Christmas."
I love him. He's a dick.
He is a dick. And Santa Claus wins this bleak match with his evil Jingle Bells music. I will say to the creative people in the musical department who managed to find a way to make sleigh bells and Christmas and Jingle Bells sound evil. They made out like this. If you hated Christmas, this is the song that would play when Christmas was coming, that would fill you with dread. You know,
the Grinch listens to this every year to get himself in the spirit.
So as he wins his match and walks to the back looking all mean, Vince McMahon just goes, "My God, this is horrible to watch. The desecration of Santa Claus. You might as well urinate on Santa Claus." Santa Claus disappeared after this. He was never seen again.
Oh, he got away with it then.
He did. It's pretty much like, in terms of bad heels who've never gotten their comeuppance,
That's terrible.
Santa Claus comes in, ruins Christmas, steals a bunch of gifts, beats up Scott Taylor, and then just fucks off forever.
Yeah.
Undefeated. Brock Lesnar maybe should he could conquer Santa Claus's undefeated streak. Now, you probably have guessed there's a rich and imaginative tradition of wrestlers dressing up as Santas.
Yeah, that I did find a little bit more surprising.
So you didn't think that this would be like...
I thought it would happen here and there. Didn't realise to quite the extent they pushed this.
Lo and behold, as we're scanning through the DVD and I see Bubba Claus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is no way in hell that I'm not watching Bubba Ray Dudley, one of my favourite wrestlers, wrestle a match in a Santa Claus outfit.
Against Tajiri, no less, one of our favourite wrestlers.
Yeah, you saw Tajiri briefly in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Absolutely love him so much. He's so cool.
He's got a degree in economics as well.
That's
and
awesome.
Very soundly invested his money as
Does
well.
him and Kane, do they like hang out and discuss economics then?
You know what? I think that him and Kane may have done that at some
Bet they
point.
have.
I bet they totally have.
I wonder if they sort of agree with each other's economic politics or not.
I'm just saying, Kane is definitely the type of guy who would like learn a bit of Japanese in his spare time.
Yeah.
You know, so he could really.
Just so he could chat economics with Tajiri.
Absolutely, totally. I mean, Bubba Claus versus Tajiri. I can't wait for us to do How to Tajiri because he's legitimately one of my favourite wrestlers ever.
So this was a Santa Claus match, which I didn't know was a thing.
Neither did Jim Ross because in commentary he's like, "Well, this is a Santa Claus match. I don't know what that means, be that as it may, but and
I
then
didn't expect to see this tonight at work.
showed up to work. What the fuck is a Santa Claus match? The Bubba Claus sounds like something that he has in his own contract.
Yeah.
You know, as in like, well, you can't lose here tonight because the Bubba Claus states.
It's something to do with tables. Like, don't bring out the tables. It's the Bubba Clause.
You know, there has to be at least 4 tables under the ring at any given point.
Yeah.
That's the Bubba Clause that you signed in the contract, Vince. It has to be there. JR calls this one totally seriously as well. I love it. He clearly hates wrestling and Christmas crossing over.
Does he, do you think?
Well, he's kind of like, he's begrudgingly like, you know, well, it's a Santa Claus match, so they have to dress up as Santa, you know. Now here.
Exposing the business, isn't it?
It is, because they always used to dress like the women up like in Christmas outfits.
Sexy Christmas outfits. I bet they were sexy.
Always Santa's Little Helper matches. They all come out dressed up as Christmas.
Never as Mrs. Santa.
No, it was always just like, you know,
Bullshit.
people would take some weird kind of interpretations of it, I guess. But yeah, anytime the women dress up as Santa, it's like, wow, how a great time of year. When the men dress up as Santa, it's like, oh, this is fucking dumb. I hate this. I must say I was impressed that they could work a match in these outfits.
I was amazed because like Tajiri can still wrestle so well. Like his style is so flippy compared to like Bubba Ray. Like to be fair, he just punches and shit.
Bubba Ray basically wrestles how I think Santa
Yeah.
would actually
Whereas
wrestle.
like seeing a guy dressed as Santa do what Tajiri can do is mind blowing. It's like whoa.
Yeah, he's doing like his handspring elbows,
Yeah.
his kicks, all that stuff.
Jumping off the top rope, I think at one point.
Because I was on
Amazing.
two minds. I was like, Joe, you've seen Tajiri wrestle in Cruiserweight Classic. I may ruin the magic if I show him in a fucking match where he has to wrestle in a Santa
I was
suit.
impressed.
Even more impressive.
Yeah. At one point it cut to backstage and you pointed out we've got a little Christmas cane in the
Yeah.
background. And what, he had like a ribbon, you said, on his
A
mask?
little ribbon on his cheek and a little
I
Christmas
didn't notice
hat
the
on.
ribbon, but the Christmas hat was very cute.
It was like camouflage because Kane, of course, in the Christmas colours of red is very difficult
But
to
he
see.
was in Xanta colours because he was red and black.
Which obviously was quite traumatic to see.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Santa. How?
The Christmas that's Xanta ruined everything.
Somewhere in the South Pole, Santa's like, and I got away with it too because they got bored of me. Instead of ho ho ho, Santa should have went he or ha 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 or hoo hoo hoo.
Oh. Hey.
Oh!
Bubba started doing Santa-themed taunts, which I thought was really funny. Like every
elbow,
time, yeah.
elbow, ho ho, and the big elbow. I like that.
Fantastic.
Do you like how Tajiri like slowly lost his Santa gear as the match
He did
went on?
slowly. He lost it right at the beginning, and I am convinced it's so we could tell who, or rather, the commentators could tell who was who.
Bubba Ray Dudley in every dimension is 9 times bigger than Tajiri.
I guess.
Because, like, Bubba, not only did he wear the fucking whole gimmick with the wig and the
Beard.
beard, and he had a big extra sack gut as well.
They both did.
He wore his glasses as well. But Tajiri literally was like, punch. Nah, fuck that. It's sorry, folks. It's just, it's just not going to work. It's too
Can't
awkward.
breathe in this thing. It's annoying.
I mean, if you want to see some flips, I'm not wearing this. You can't have it both. So sensible Tajiri. But Bubba Ray, he goes full Santaberg here. Like, he absolutely...
Starts whipping him with the belt. Terrifying.
I think say it was a very fun-loving match until the point where Bubba decides to ruin Christmas
Yeah.
by taking off his belt and his trousers nearly come down and
And
whipping.
not just like his regular belt either. It was like the championship belt, whatever it's
His
called.
big Santa belt.
Was it?
Devon had the tag team
Yeah, and I
championships.
thought then Bubba used that to hit him.
No, he was using his actual Santa belt,
Oh, okay.
which was quite big. Now, just so you know, Joe, if Vince McMahon ever hears wind of that, you describing one of his championship titles as a belt,
Yeah.
you'll be blacklisted.
Yeah.
Now, we've been through this, and I kindly ask you, I'm going to wish upon a Christmas star here, stop exposing the business.
Okay. So, speaking of exposing the business, then Tajiri Santa spat blood on Bubba Santa.
Happy Christmas! I think, for whatever reason, if anything ever happens and it's slightly awkward, and it's like, oh Jesus, that's not very Christmassy. If you just put in the "It's Christmas" bit from that song, it's okay.
How did Tajiri spit blood on him? It came out like a foam.
That was not meant to be blood. That was Tajiri used to do mist. And I'll save it
It
till...
did look like a mist.
Yeah, that was red mist. Now, Tajiri would do mists, and I will save the pageantry of
But I
that
want
for
to know how he
to
did
Tajiri.
it. Did he have it in his mouth the whole time?
Some say there was a little bit of Christmas magic in the air that night. But I will save it for How to Tajiri.
Okay. Hope we get that soon. I
Yeah.
need to know.
I want to do it. I'm going to do How to Tajiri as soon as we can. though.
Christmas mystery.
Absolutely. Tajiri beats the shit out of Bubba Claus and wins this very holly jolly festive match.
Hooray.
I was very Christmassy. Now, what happened next was probably one of the most intense Christmas moments in the history of wrestling. So, 2012 Christmas Raw, very, very holly jolly indeed, because Santa Claus comes out and he's giving gifts to everyone.
And it's a real Santa. It's not like Xanta,
No.
and it's not like Bubba Ray Dudley.
We've checked his passport. He is from the North Pole.
It's a nice, kindly old Santa man.
Lovely old Santa
Literally
man.
looks exactly like I'd imagine Santa to look as well. So I think it might be the real Santa himself.
I never knew either of my granddads, so I imagine that's what granddads are, is like lovely old men who
They're
give you
Santas.
toys. I'm just
Yeah.
assuming, unless prove me wrong.
No,
you know?
that's pretty accurate.
So Santa's out giving gifts, and the announcers are really playing it up as well.
Michael Cole has the best line. I've been a really good Michael Cole this year.
I like the way, because like, if I was ever to describe anyone on the announce team as being a boy, it would be Michael Cole. You have been a good boy.
I know him and Byron Saxton, I think, are both boys.
They're both boys, absolutely. But I think like the way Michael Cole is like, he realizes that he's too weird to be like a human or a boy or a man. So I've been a good Michael Cole. There's only one. What a fucking weird.
But I've been the best Michael Cole that I can be. And then, out of nowhere, that no good Alberto Del Rio comes out in his BMW.
That snake Alberto Del Rio coming out to ruin Christmas.
And he starts like honking his horn. And you think Santa would hear that and get out of the way, but no, Santa's a bit old.
Santa was like way into it. He was handing out
that
like
hot?
figures
What's going
to
on?
people.
I've been distracted by good deeds. I've been giving gifts to children. I couldn't possibly hear the loud car that's
There's
coming my way.
Are those jingle bells? Those are. There are no cars in the North Pole, though, are there?
Yeah, he didn't know what it was. He probably thought it was a big reindeer.
He probably thought it was a big toy to give to one of the rich children, because Santa knows he has to give more to the rich children than to the poor
Yeah, of
children.
course.
you know.
Logical.
Or to the children whose parents have taken out lots of loans and are in debt. That's
Yeah.
how Santa knows how to give those gifts.
Yeah.
So he's beeping the horn away, and then a little bit of creative editing, and all of a sudden Santa is like run over. And fucking the best thing about it is not only does Santa get run over and splat, the Christmas tree lands right on him,
On his head.
and it makes a big.
It's amazing. Poor
And,
Santa.
It's horrible, because we get a.
You killed Santa chant.
I love this panto shit.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
I'm pretty sure they piped in most of these chants and all the crowd reactions during this, but I don't care. And you know what I think are really stupid about? I really, really feel ashamed. Is that in 2012, old Kevin the Grinch over here was someone who was just, of the opinion, well, it's just Christmas, so it's going to be a lame storyline. They're going to advance these storylines. There's going to be no work rate on this show. So I just read the spoilers of the show, and the person who wrote the spoilers, it could have been any fucking wrestling website, were like, oh, it's really lame and stupid, this is all this gimmicky, stupid, dumb Santa shit, and I was like, I'm not going to watch it. So this is the first time I saw this,
That's ridiculous. It's so silly.
and I'm ashamed that even for a brief
Yeah.
period I could lose track of one of the best things about
You've
wrestling.
been missing out. This is probably. I haven't seen all the Christmas segments done in wrestling, but I'd be willing to bet this is the best one.
I think it's my favourite, yeah.
So after the "You Killed Santa" chant, Everyone is crying.
It's miserable.
Like, Ricardo, the announcer, is there. He's sobbing. He starts retching. Santa's dead.
Like, this just reminds me of the Christmas where my brother was meant to get Sabutio, and then Granny got him Sabutio instead, so my parents had to give him something else, and I was like, Santa didn't know. Like, it's just like the most harrowing, tragic shit ever.
You said that really happened.
Well, we were crying lots, and I used to get sick all the time, so it's probably, yeah. Things aren't just so.
Meanwhile, medical professionals have come out to help Santa, and they've given him a neck brace. He's not moving. They put him on a stretcher.
Trainers, EMTs, referees down.
They start to like just take him away, and then we cut backstage where you've got Booker T, you got Kane, you got, I don't know who else was there.
Titus O'Neill, Darren Young was weeping.
Darren Young was weeping
openly
into Titus's strong, loving embrace, comforting him. It's gonna be okay. Santa's gonna be fine.
Booker T has to give the bad news, like.
And then John Cena marches out from there, and he's like, Saint Nick is a saint. We can't have this. And Booker T's all like, you gotta take revenge. You gotta do it for Santa.
Literally, as he was standing there looking at him, I went, do it for Santa, man. Assuming they wouldn't say that. And then he's like, do it for Santa, man. I was like,
I assumed,
yes!
because I didn't realise you hadn't watched it. I thought you knew that's what they were gonna say.
No, I was just like assuming, do it
You
for
know
Santa,
wrestling
man.
too well.
Throw him a candy cane. Let's kick some ass.
And I swear to God, this really happens. So Booker T goes, do it for Santa, and John Cena screams, Santa!
It's his power cry.
War cry.
You know, to get all the power of all the Santa maniacs out there, you know, all the Christmas heads, you know, all the Rudolph nuts.
And then we cut to the medical area where one of the interviewer guys is like, we've got some really bad news. I'm not gonna lie to you all. Santa's taken a turn for the worse. And you've got the beep, 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 beep in the background. It's slowly getting slower. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep. Bullshit.
I mean, why you think that someone's heartbeat, it was like that? Obviously, he'd be in
It's Santa's
cardiac
heartbeat,
arrest.
yeah, it's
like.
little jingle bells.
It's just coincidence. Help, Kemi. I mean, I would have preferred if they went for like kind of, you know, like a Greg Lake, you know.
Really sad Santa.
Beep, 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 beep. And that's actually more regular heartbeat as well, you know.
Yeah.
They wanted to kill him. You just go Krista Berg, you know. It went beep. You know, they would have. I mean, so Jingle Bells. You know, you got Santa there. He's maybe worked out a little bit too much. He's
Santa's
got some
a troll.
So yeah, what the whole thing is? Was Santa okay all along, and he's just like
know.
he likes the attention?
I don't know if that was like to signal that he was having some kind of cardiac Christmas arrest, or if that was just Santa being a troll with his heart rate monitor.
Because, I mean, I'm really trying to suspend my disbelief here and try and keep kayfabe and not expose the business. Like, in kayfabe, is Santa real? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out now.
Of course it is.
Alright, because, I mean, this whole sequence literally seemed like a Mick Foley fever dream. Like, the episode of Raw should have ended with, like, Noel pulling Mick's head out of a bowl of eggnog. You know, that's where he's been. Like, you know, his teeth have fallen out. Like, he's pissed himself. You know, it's just gone really too weird. I did like as well when they were pulling Santa into the medical room on the stretcher. He put his thumb up. You know,
yeah,
like the end of Terminator 2. Like, you know, he's okay.
Crowd goes wild.
So John Cena is going to take on that skunk Alberto Del Rio in a Miracle on 34th Street fight. I was kind of hoping they call it a Miracle on 34th Street fight, but they just call it, you know.
So is this a street fight or not?
It is a street fight.
But they're not even wearing jeans.
I know, but
and they're not on a street.
But it's a Miracle on 34th Street fight, so I think that just means
terrible
Christmas-themed gifts.
Yeah, but they don't explain that. I was really confused because you've got this match, and I thought it would just be like kind of a normal match, but no, they have presents and stuff, and they're allowed to use them. And trees.
John Cena says the word Santa like 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, as Alberto Del Rio makes his way to the ring. Poor Ricardo literally can't even say the words. He's between the tears. Like,
he literally comes out and he's like, Santa Del Rio. I like how Del Rio's like he's a heel by proxy in this. He's just like, yo, he should know that my car's come out there. I was beeping.
To be fair, he looks mortified when he runs over Santa.
You know what? He was actually on the Week to Week show. He was a face at this point in time, I think.
Really?
So that's fucking horrid for poor El.
Gosh.
Yeah, poor El Del Rio.
Speaking of, he looks in very different shape here to when we saw him.
Because we saw him live.
Yeah.
As a surprise when we went to see.
And he was buff.
He was.
Ridiculously hench.
He was also testing positive for testosterone supplements at the time. So
Well then.
either that or maybe just, him and Paige have got a really vibrant lifestyle that makes him feel young.
They spend all their spare time at the gym.
Possibly.
Gym buddies.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wholesome relationship right there.
Definitely.
So mid-match on the microphone, Del Rio grabs it. He's like, hey, it was an accident, okay? It was an accident. I was really hoping he would embrace the hate, like, Kane would. And he'd just be like, you know what? I'm glad that I ran over Santa Claus.
I'm glad he didn't do that, because I like this kind of unexpected. He accidentally ran over Santa and ruined Christmas. I think that's funnier.
I think this is setting a bad precedent, which is if someone accidentally ruins Christmas, you have to go after them. It's like there are no accidents at Christmas. If you remotely fuck it up, I'm holding you to task because it's Christmas, Santa.
And John Cena's going to beat the shit out of you.
In mid-match, again, he goes for his Santa.
Yeah.
Like he grabs the microphone, it's like big.
Oh, it's great. They wrestle between it, like who gets the microphone, and John Cena just gets it by his mouth and screams,
Santa! Like a can! Twix!
And they start unwrapping gifts, and John Cena gets a very, very good gift.
Every gift that John gets is amazing.
Fantastic. He gets a chair, like a proper chair that he hits him over the head with.
Joe's going to be really excited when she opens her chair for Christmas.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's just between you and me, guys. A wink. Some say there was a little bit of magic in B&Q that day. Wink.
Ricardo gives Del Rio a present that he's found, and it's just got a cream pie in it.
And Del Rio's just like,
furious.
Why did you give me this pie? Like,
the fuck is this?
So, you have to ask yourself, when you're giving out gifts this Christmas, are they going to react like John Cena, who, opens the box, stops, pulls it out, and, with a combination of you guys, and also, this is the best moment of my life, and I thank you for getting me this.
His face when he unwraps that chair is gold.
Everything he unwraps, he's so happy and grateful. Yeah. I'm hoping, when Christmas comes around tomorrow, that, I'm going to get similar faces.
Oh, I'm going to get you what poor Del Rio received, which is a cute, cuddly bear.
he's opening it. I love the comedy here. I love this little full panto with it. Yeah. Where he's like, this better be good. He's like, yeah, it's going to be like a bazooka. A bazooka. You're gonna kill John Cena. Right, if you're really in, PR building mode, Del Rio, after running over Santa, you don't want to shoot a bazooka in a live
John
arena.
Cena.
Terrorist attack on Christmas. Beloved
John
wrestler.
Cena
killed with a bazooka. Instead, he got a little teddy bear, and I think the thing I liked most about it was that Del Rio went, fuck it, and he threw it out of it.
Right at John Cena, who just kind of shrugs. It's like, what have you done?
Cena trees Del Rio, and then in what was an incredibly dangerous spot, and what I didn't expect, Cena does the old bowling ball to the groin.
That was fucking terrifying. I was so scared.
Do you know how they do that? Mm-hmm. Literally, you have to...
I'm guessing you have to clench your thigh muscles.
You have to clench your thigh muscles.
Just the second before.
This is literally a game that people would play in boarding school, and it's not easy.
What, have you done this?
No, but I know people who did play this game, and they would throw a big heavy ball, or a cricket ball, and they'd toss it, and you have to try and cover in time.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I loved my genitalia far too much to degrade myself in that
we
manner.
might have kids someday as a result of that. Thanks.
And now I've got a handsome penis, and a story to tell on Christmas. So it's all okay.
John Cena gets yet another great gift. He receives a fire extinguisher.
Best gift.
And what I loved about this is when he pulled out the pin and turned it on Del Rio on his hands and knees begs, please, it's Christmas. John Cena doesn't give a shit, though, that it's Christmas.
Once you lay your hands on Santa, it's fair game right there. So Del Rio and Ricardo gang up on John, and John has a momentary disadvantage. And who comes out to save him? Wait a minute! That's gotta be Santa! And I think, was it around this point you realised who Santa Claus was?
Only because you said, have you realised who Santa Claus is? And I went, no.
Well, I mean, you said when he
All the
came
way
out,
through, I was saying, he looks just like Mick Foley.
you're like, wow, it's so much like Mick Foley. And when he put on Mr. Stocko, I mean, I thought that might have been the giveaway then. And then Jerry Lawler goes, wow, he's looks kind of familiar. And I think in the point where he actually was almost killed the credibility of it is when Santa Claus went to the ring and went, bang, bang.
Yeah, ruined it there.
Just in case you thought Santa was actually run over, it was just Mick Foley in the best Santa cosplay ever.
I was amazed at how convinced, because I'm very familiar with what Mick Foley looks like, and I didn't, even though all the way through I was like, that's so weird, it looks just like Mick Foley. I was like, no, it can't be Mick Foley because it looks just like Santa as well. He looks like an old man
He does, you know,
with a real beard.
he's part of this like really like into it group of people who are like are really like they're like authentic, like have to dress the proper Santa gear, you know, the proper hair, the proper coat. He's like
But,
a
right down to
professional
his
perfectionist.
eyes, he looked like his little rosy cheeks. I mean, none of
Yeah.
it was over the top. It was like just perfect Santa.
It was incredible, and
was really good.
He's actually was part of a movie called I Am Santa Claus about like all these people who take it like so seriously.
Oh, I've heard of that. I'd love to see that sometime.
Honestly, I've taken turns in being mildly perturbed and then also delighted by Mick Foley's Christmas obsession.
Yeah, it does. It borderlines on creepy sometimes and then charming others.
Like in his first book, he talks about it. I remember when I read it as a kid, I was like, this is awesome. My favourite wrestler loves Christmas. And you know, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, Christmas was just my favourite. I fucking love Christmas. It was my favourite growing up.
I don't think you're a unique and special snowflake for liking Christmas as a child.
Generation snowflake, mate. All think they're special for liking Christmas. I'm just never going to make the assumption that everyone loves Christmas, though, because I know not everyone loves Christmas.
No, that's true.
There's probably some people who are listening to this right now who are like, fucking Christmas, man.
Well, Del Rio's probably not too fond of Christmas these days.
Well, Ricardo, anytime he thinks of Christmas, he just gets fucking, you know, traumatized thinking about this horrible
starts
moment.
vomiting.
I liked that Foley loved Christmas. There was one line in one of his books, though, where he's like, sometimes not everyone likes my Christmas obsession. Like the time where I remember turning to my children screaming, what do you mean you don't want to sing Frosty the Snowman? And they're all like, ah! And I think that's a little scary.
No, that is scary.
So, I mean, we sing whatever Christmas song you want to sing, even if it's
Also,
wrong.
knowing that he takes his kids into his Christmas room to tell them off and lecture them about their mistakes in life is upsetting.
Essentially, this is another moment ruined by Holy Foley.
Thanks. Thanks.
That show's literally done nothing good ever.
No
Literally
good at
nothing.
all. Terrible.
Oh, I will say, that whole 2012 Christmas thing, I love that.
No, it's great.
I loved that.
That's really funny.
And you know what I'm annoyed about? I'm worried. I don't think this year they're going to do that Christmas type thing. And I think every year on Christmas, they should pitch it to kids, make it be like you can do the whole
great
thing.
idea. Yeah, top face, top heel.
Non-canon.
Yeah.
You can open it by having like, you know, someone reading a book going, well...
I'm just saying,
you know.
AJ Styles would be great for ruining Christmas. It's like the bad elf or something.
He looks too much like an elf, doesn't he?
does.
You know, or he could be Santa and Gallows and Anderson could be his elves, like, Merry Christmas, nerds. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a lot of hokey stuff with wrestling in Christmas. But if you were a kid and you saw this, you know what? I don't think anyone who watched it that Christmas is going to bed going, ah, like I did in fucking 99, seeing Foley in the pool of blood on Christmas Eve. This is what you should be having.
Yeah.
You know, there needs to be another generation of wrestling fans. Pitch it to them. They like Christmas.
Yeah.
Do other things kids like as well, like Snapchat and stickers, you know? Coming up next, it was the follow-up to 2012's Christmas battle. This was billed as the battle for Christmas. As nice/good/wholesome Santa, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, took on evil, crooked, nasty Santa, Damien Sandow.
Mark Henry makes a fantastic Santa.
The best Santa.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would happily go sit on Santa's knee if Santa was Mark Henry.
Because he's the world's strongest
Strongest
Santa.
man. That's
and he's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
I believe that Mark Henry, you know, we're watching 2011 at the moment in Ashshare podcast, and some of the shit he's doing in those matches, I can believe he can travel around the world in a sleigh and make reindeer fly. You can have a good match with the Big Show, Mark. You can do anything, as far as I'm concerned, at Christmas time. Damien Sandow is the evil intellectual Santa, though.
Yeah.
Boo, evil intellectual
Hot Santa.
Did you think he was a hot Santa?
It was a hot Santa.
Even though he was covered in soot.
Oh, yeah.
Sandow's got a good thing
Dirty
going.
boy Santa.
Dirty Santa.
Giving out coal. He was giving out coal.
He was. Literally giving
Literally
out...
giving out
I
coal.
thought he should have given out Michael Cole action figures. You know, that would have been even better.
Mark Henry Santa, sorry, Good Santa, I should refer to
Yeah.
him as, gets a Christmas present and it's got a toilet in. And he puts Bad Santa in the toilet.
And everyone's like, ah!
Yeah, one of the commentators is like, that's disgusting, which is ridiculous because it's brand new. It's made of porcelain. It's
That'd be quite nice,
clean.
actually. Got that new toilet smell.
It's fine, yeah. It won't smell of anything.
Unless they've got plumbing in, like, unless, like,
They've got plumbing and they've then used it to shit in.
Vince at the start was like, we want to make this thing real, so I'm just going to go out and, have a shit before the, he's just sitting there in the corner with his newspaper,
ring, yeah.
I'm just, making it real, folks, I did like Bad Santa's rhyme. A pox on this holiday, celebrated by fools. This is a day that will be better spent in school. And he promises he's going to cancel Christmas. Now, I must say, I was very, very worried at this point. Those are high stakes. And I like Mark Henry, but is that not a bit of a burden to put on him?
Not on the world's strongest Santa.
I'm just saying, like, yo, Mark, go out there, rest in your Santa suit. If you lose, Christmas is cancelled.
Any other Santa wouldn't have been able to handle this.
This is the first Christmas I get to spend with my family, and just please don't lose, Mark. I can't, Mark. Damien Sandow in a we would only notice this, of course, because we watch back-to-back segments.
Yeah.
And I guess in the pool of evil Santa music, there's only so many songs you can do. But Damien Sandow does have Santa Claus's theme.
Yeah, cheap.
I thought it would have been better if because he's intellectual Santa, to come out to I Believe in Father Christmas by Greg Lake.
You're obsessed.
Boo! With your intellectual Christmas garbage. Talking about rain and
what about the Paul
Santa.
McCartney Christmas song that everyone hates? Merry Christmas, everyone.
I know I said it on another podcast recently, but when Paul McCartney sang that when I saw him at Christmas, literally people in the row I was in went, for fuck's sake.
Boo.
I hate it so much.
Throw coal at him.
There was coal everywhere in this match.
No, it was a dirty match.
So I think Damien Sandow is officially Donald Trump's favourite Santa. Look, there's loads of coal. What are you talking about? It's all in the ring. He had some in his hand, some in his beard. Coal, perfect.
Why has he got it in his beard? He's been eating the coal.
I know he comes in like, Santa should have cleaned up before this one. So he's like an intellectual, slovenly Santa Claus.
He just rolls around in coal.
You're not filthy enough, David. Come here, and throws a soot in his face. Like, now go out and get your head in that fucking toilet. Damien gets no offense in on Good Santa, but he does get offense in on the concept of Christmas. He gets a candy cane kendo stick, and he beats the shit out of the Christmas tree and all the gifts. And then, even worse than that,
oh yeah, he goes to one of the Christmas trees and takes off the star, and he starts attacking Good Santa with it. And on the commentary they go, I gotta admit, that star, it's too much.
Yeah, JBL the whole time he's like, yeah, it'd be great, kids should work for their gifts. But once he goes for the star, he's like, oh no.
That's disgusting.
Oh no. Oh, I'm Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen now in Texas. Oh,
Star.
Big Dick Murdoch, he never would have done that, Texas. Santa hits the sleigh ride, which is just the world's strongest slam, and he wins. He beats that mean old Santa. Post-match cupcake for Mark Henry. You've deserved that. You've earned it. Good job. And then he smashes Damien in the face with it. I must say, Damien took it so well that he managed to... He looked so gross and disgusting.
You do see him literally rub it in his face and mouth.
He's a pro right there.
Pro, yeah.
I guess they're delicious cupcakes.
I bet.
And in the oddest call of the night, after Bad Santa has been defeated, JBL just goes, James Stewart is rolling in his grave. Why? Why?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
What, because he was in a movie once that has a tenuous link at best to Christmas?
Because we were talking about this with Sam the other
yeah.
day, because we were like, will we do fucking It's a Wonderful Life or Cinema Swirl? I watched that the other year with my parents. It's 90 hours long, and around 3 minutes of it, it's like, oh, it happens to be Christmas. The rest of it, fucking nothing else. It's just some lad working at a bank realising his life is shit. That's not Christmas.
I love your James Stewart impression.
Oh, honey.
That's fantastic. Save that for the bedroom.
The only other thing I'll mention before we wrap up with our Christmas special here, because, Christmas can get intense sometimes, and I'm going to say right now, Joe, you got me like the best Christmas gift ever this year. It's a fucking awesome Roddy Piper pin that has Obey written on the sunglasses, and it's so fucking awesome. And we've actually recently gotten Roddy Piper's autobiography was sent to us to read from the publishers. We're going to hopefully get our teeth into How to Piper. I think you're going to love Roddy Piper, but we just watched quickly the segment of Bobby the Brain Heenan, who I know you liked before from his stuff with Flair, giving him the hammer and all that stuff. If you remember.
That's him.
Yeah, Bobby Heenan is great. Bobby Heenan is literally in the world's most. He literally looks like he's eating the candy from Willy Wonka that makes you grow giant and round.
Yeah.
And he's there, this ridiculous beanbag over going, Santa's not real. You've been swerved, kids. Boing, boing.
He's being such a dick.
And Roddy Piper is so
Getting angrier.
insane. He's just sitting there and he's like, Bobby, what you're doing now, talking down, I've got kids and they love Santa, they have presents, I know what it's like to not have toys. Bobby, what you're doing right now is you're ruining Christmas, Bobby. And he's like, haha, what are you gonna do about it? And what can be best described as a Christmas cocaine rage, Piper comes in and just beats the shit out of Heenan.
It's fantastic.
And this Christmas special of WWF Primetime ends with literally with Roddy Piper going and Gorilla Monsoon going, well folks, goodbye from this very unusual Christmas special. Now, I like to think that we've improved on our Christmas special since then, but WWE, give us more Christmas.
More Christmas. More Christmas. I want Kevin Owens as bad Santa.
Yes! Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho as
and
Christmas
Mrs.
boys. You just made the list!
Roman Reigns is a good Santa that everyone hates.
Believe that.
Now, who would make a best good Santa?
The best good Santa you could do on Raw. I kind of want Braun Strowman to be Santa.
Oh, that's going to be bad Santa.
Braun-ness! Sami Zayn would make a great Santa.
Oh, he'd make a great Santa's little elf.
He would. He'd make
Like
a
helper.
fantastic elf.
Yeah.
God, this is really hard now. Okay, we can't
Good
finish this
Santa.
up until we
No.
finish out who's
God,
going
I
to
know.
be the best Santa that we could do on either show. You know who would have made the best one, but he's not with the company anymore? Bull Dempsey. He would have made a fucking class
He would have made
Santa.
an absolute great Santa. Who are some of the top faces at the moment?
Dean Ambrose.
No.
James Ellsworth.
He's a little elf guy.
I don't know. Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns. John Cena.
No.
There's not really many Holly Jolly Santos. Big cast of Santa and Enzo as a little elf would be amazing.
That would be really
That would be
cute, yeah.
very good. Brock Lesnar would be the most
No.
terrifying Santa. I think I would officially quit Christmas if that was the case. Sheamus actually would make a pretty good Santa, I think.
I guess.
He is Irish.
Cesaro
though.
would be a hot Santa.
Cesaro would make a great Santa. He could
Fancy
do
Santa.
He could do like in The Office. He could do like cool James Bond Santa.
yeah.
You know, with
He
a
rips
bass.
off his sexy Santa outfit like a stripper.
It comes out to a double bass entrance music. Like Bray Wyatt would make a great Santa
No,
Claus.
he's evil again.
Evil Santa,
Have
I
a
guess.
face guy.
We need to have a face Santa Claus here. Apollo Crews would make
Apollo
a great,
Crews would be a good
really
Santa,
great
yeah.
Santa Claus. Mojo Rawley, for all his failings,
Yes.
would make a
would
pretty good
make
one.
it good.
Rhino.
God, Rhino and
I think Daniel Bryan would make a great Santa.
Darren would make a great Santa, but
Little
I think
Santa.
we have realised here that there's no actual best good Santa.
There is a gap on the roster.
There's a gap on the roster for a good Santa.
I mean, Mark Henry is still technically on the roster.
Oh, maybe he's the perfect Santa.
I mean, you got a lot. You have to say something for you now, right, WWE?
Him versus Kevin Owens as bad Santa with Chris Jericho as Mrs. Claus.
Perfect. Who could be all the reindeer then? I mean, it's just... The
cruiserweights.
The cruiserweights, perfect. There we go. We finally found a way to get the cruiserweights over. It's a Christmas miracle. Well, thanks very much for joining us for this little Christmas bonus episode. I thought it was fitting to, watch some Christmassy stuff. I'm very glad we did because it's definitely reinvigorated my love of Christmas wrestling. There's a lot of hokey crap when it comes to wrestling and Christmas, but I'm very glad, if only to see John Cena and Del Rio finally have that battle. That was probably one of my favourite things I've ever seen.
We got great value for money, I think, for this.
Yeah, that's a pound well spent. £1 DVD. Well, it's a goodbye and a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from me, Kevin.
And a goodbye and a Happy New Year going forward from me, Joe.
And we'll see you next time on Ho 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 to Wrestling.
Boo. So bad.
How to Wrestling.
See ya.